Girls, boys, and everybody in between, welcome back to yet another episode of May I Just Say. It's me, Just May, your first eliminated queen of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 4, and we're here to chat all things Snatch Game. We're going to be finding out from our special guest what they want to just slay from this week's episodes and what they choose to get fucked. I'm joined this week by the assassin herself. It's the one and only Black Peppa.
Hi, how are you, baby?
I'm good, babes. How are you?
She's doing quite well in her little Nas outfit.
I mean, she paid the money. She's going to wear it. She's going to wear it to death.
Oh my God. So, funny story, this outfit is not what I had on the episode. I had this properly made after the show finished airing because I was like, I need a proper outfit made. So here we are today. Head to toe look.
God. We are on episode 5. We walk back into the workroom and Baby's message is on the mirror. How did that feel, walking in and seeing Baby's message after what had just happened?
Honestly, I was really shattered. Baby, anyone knows, Baby was one of the girls on the season that was my rock. We were really close. And, when Baby left, I don't know if you can see when she was walking away, I was just shattered. I was in tears. And, watching the mirror message, it really hit me Baby's actually gone. It was really hard to see that. And in my head, I was like, okay, all tea, I'm the only Black queen left here. I need to really represent, and I'm going to do this for Baby. I will give the hardest I can to make sure that I stay this competition.
It's just, and in the way that she did it, it was so authentic to her and what she was going through on the show. So I think that really, we spoke about it last week with the Phil, and it was such a moment for her to actually, voice what she was feeling. So, fair play to her. And if that's what you need to do in a situation like that, take yourself out of it because there's no more important than you, babe. So let's move on. You got the video message from Ru. And it was the Snatch Game. It Strictly Come Snatch Game. How did you feel? You were shook when this came out. You were not looking forward to Snatch Game, were you?
Absolutely not. I think it's because I've seen the previous seasons of how Snatch Game is so important and it's such a big deal that I already had all this fear in me. So the minute Ru said Snatch Game, my heart started pounding. I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh God. Okay. And even though it was Strictly Come Snatch Game, it's nothing to do with dancing, okay? So I was like, this is not gonna save me. I really have to dig into my treasure chest of acting and do the best that I can. So I was terrified.
So Bagger comes in and she's gonna mentor all of you girls in how to win a Snatch Game, because she's done it twice. Yeah. Was there anything you now wish in hindsight that you wish you'd have asked Bagger?
The thing is, you just never know. You think you kind of got it until you end up there. I think I should have asked Bagger, because I did ask her, what is the key thing to succeed at Snatch Game? And she said, you know what, just don't take it too seriously, let go and be yourself. And I was thinking, I overthink everything. That's something that's going to be very hard for me to do. And on Snatch Game, I tried so hard and I got in my head. And, Bagger, we've seen the recent season with Bagger on Versus, and it was a masterclass of Snatch Game. It was incredible. And I was like, how, someone who's so good at Snatch Game, what advice could they, I was like, Bagger, come inside of me just for an hour, please. And then you can come back after the Snatch Game. It's so hard and it's nerve-wracking.
The thing is, you should never ask Bagger to come inside of you.
If Bagger's listening.
So, who were your other options? So you went with Little Nas, but who else were you thinking?
So when I did my audition tape, I also did Naomi Campbell, but my British accent is shit. I think they live for the fact that my British accent was so bad that it probably would have worked out in my favor had I just done that. But I just feel like doing Naomi, I have so much respect for Naomi that I'm like, if I F this up, Naomi will never talk to me. So I was like, I can't do that. I'm just gonna do Lil Nas X and hope and pray with my Southern American accent that it works out for me, which obviously it didn't.
I mean, do a little bit of that Southern American now for us. Little Nas, what did you have for breakfast today?
I had some Cheerios and I had a bagel from downtown.
Great, perfect.
Oh God! So RuPaul asked me in Snatch Game, what does the X in Lil Nas X stand for? It was so stupid. Like I said, X chromosomes. Like obviously, like if anyone knows, like I did biomedical science, so I was so frozen and shook that I didn't know what the hell to say. And like a dumbass, I said X chromosomes. I was like, shit, what did I say that for? At that point, I kind of already knew that was it.
Why didn't you make Little Nas a biomedical scientist?
I could have played on it. Like when you're so nervous, like just me, when you're nervous, right? Everything that you prepared, all the material I had pages of material. Everything that I prepared just went out the window.
So we're at the Snatch Game. We're all on set. We've got AJ Adudu and we've got Tess Daly. Iconic Strictly behavior going on here.
Love them both. I was even more nervous when I saw them because I love AJ so much. Like I mean, I'm a dancer and like I watch the show with my boyfriend all the time, and I was really gagged that they were there, and she looks so beautiful as well. Whew. Oh.
So what did you think of your other Snatch Game contestants? We had, going in order of how they were, we had Cheddar as Queen Elizabeth I. We had LaFille as Marie Kondo. We had Danny as Cilla Black. Yes. A very good, strong top row.
Which they decided to do that at the last moment and still slayed that hard.
Was it genuine, the Louis Walsh thing?
Yeah, like, so I remember in the workroom while I was getting ready, Danny was like, I'm just gonna do Cilla Black. And like, I mean, this sounds bad, but I genuinely I don't know who that is. So like, look, a lot of British celebrities, I tend not to know who they are. So when Danny said that, I was like, oh, amazing. Like, you decided to change that like right now? That takes a lot of nerve. Okay, well, good luck, babe. But Danny is so funny anyway that I knew they were going to be funny regardless. And props to them. Like, I knew Cheddar was going to have it in the bag. The moment I saw them with the full costume, I mean, the costume was that good. It could have been a runway.
Oh, like it was gorgeous.
Like, I mean, you just saw like from hair up, but like she had on an entire full like costume. And I was like, what? It was incredible. And like RuPaul was laughing nonstop. And you're sat there. Imagine you know that you're bombing so hard, right? And RuPaul is just dying of laughter. And you know that laugh that RuPaul has with like, like really going out. And I'm just like, you bitch, like it's so funny.
Well, that was a very strong top shelf. But then on the bottom shelf, we started with Pixie as Shirley Bassey. We had Dakota's Pete Burns. We had Your Little Nas. And then finally, we had Jomba's St. Patty. Amazing. What were your thoughts about your bottom shelf friends?
So I was honestly looking forward to seeing how Dakota was going to do Pete Burns. Because Dakota said that they were doing Pete Burns. And I was like, she's gonna do Pete Burns? Oh my God, I can't wait to see how this is gonna be. And Dakota slayed that. Like, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, she was sat next to me and I was like, oh my God. Like, Dakota is like, I love Dakota to death. And seeing her do so well, even though I know I was doing so bad, I was so proud of her. I was like, she's killing this Snatch Game. Yeah. Snatch Game is the hardest challenge. And I was like, well done. And Jomba's next to me. Like, imagine both people next to you doing so good. Jomba's just loud, obnoxious, doing the absolute most. And I think I needed to take a page out of their book and just like let go. Because I was so in my head that I was like, let me stand on the table and actually twerk, because I can twerk.
But, you know, we can't, sometimes you get in your head and you can't, you know, act out what's being fed to you. You just go, oh shit. It's kind of like when you have an argument and then 3 days later you think of what to say back. So I totally agree with you. Dakota's Pete Burns was 100% my favorite of everyone.
Amazing.
I definitely think that it was probably my top.
Yeah.
I think that it was so funny, and I know that we didn't get to see, spoiler alert, the part where her jacket got arrested,
Yeah.
which would have been so good because the people that do know, Pete Burns had a jacket,
Yeah.
Big Brother, it got arrested because it was a gorilla coat. But she did Pete Burns in Big Celebrity Big Brother to a point, and it was just so good. And also, I died that bit where she went, being able to smoke inside, it's great. I've been dead for so long and you can just do what you want. And I was like,
Yeah.
dead. After the Snatch Game, we are all in the workroom the next day. I wasn't there. You're all in the workroom the next day, and we're chatting about our pink outfit. And Cheddar comes over with their pink triangle, which sparks a conversation about HIV and AIDS and how important that is in these day and ages.
I worked in biomedical science, so I know quite a lot when it comes to different diseases, infections, and that affects the body, and things back in the days that people would judge, and the stigma of having HIV, and people don't. You'd be surprised, people don't know the difference between HIV and AIDS. People think they're the same thing.
Yeah.
So when I was studying in uni, I was able to. I mean, even from high school, I was able to have a clear understanding. And I hate that it was associated to the gay disease, so to speak. And that's why I'm so happy that Cheddar has had the best mirror talks in the season, girl. We've spoken about things that, it didn't feel forced, because I used to watch Drag Race and feel like a lot of these mirror talks feel a bit forced to me.
Yeah, you don't believe them a bit sometimes, but Cheddar makes you go, actually, this is, it is genuinely how Cheddar would come up and talk to you about something. So it's like,
yeah,
it's a real thing.
You feel like you're in school, like it's like a masterclass. Like I'm on the show, but like I know RuPaul said it's not like RuPaul's best drag school race and anything like that, but genuinely being there and talking to Cheddar and Danny and some of the girls, like even watching Starlet do their makeup next to me and Sminty, like if you watch from episode 1 to whenever the end, you're gonna realize that I had grown so much, not just in my confidence, in my knowledge, in my makeup skills, but Cheddar has been like a teacher to me the whole way through. And Cheddar like sits and listens to when you speak to them. You speak to someone, they don't really listen to you. They're like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Cheddar would sit there and just like, oh, okay, wow. And like take it all in and then educate you about something that you didn't necessarily know about. And that is something that like I am so grateful for. Like we're so lucky to have Cheddar, girl. Woo.
Everyone should have a Cheddar or be more Cheddar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that it's definitely a really important conversation that was had because, the audiences of Drag Race is changing and evolving, and it is, a predominantly more straight audience who may not know about PrEP and HIV and being undetectable, and even what some of these words mean that are so readily available to people like us in this world. But to them, it might be a brand new thing. And to educate them in something like this is such an important thing. And that's why, once again, Drag Race is doing the Lord's work.
Oh, yeah. Bringing families together.
Over PrEP. So we went onto the runway, and this week's theme was Tickled Pink. You've done pink in both of your looks this week. So you must have been so ready for it.
I had no idea it would have ended up that way because obviously we don't know like the order of the runways. So I was like, oh, like it's a coincidence I have both pink looks. Like, fab. Pink. First of all, let me just say this: pink is not my favorite color. It's not a color I
mean, you're pulling it off now.
Do I look good in pink?
You look great in pink.
Thank you. Like, it's just not that color. Like, if anyone knows me, I wear red and black all the time. So when I found out we had a pink runway, I was like, God, how am I gonna do something that's me, that's pink? And funny story. So my pink runway, like a week before we had to go, just didn't work out. Like the designer did it didn't really look how I wanted, and I was gutted. And I had like a few days left to figure something out. And then Milan Fashion, who is a talented designer from Manchester, really young as well. I messaged them and they were like, oh my God, I have a pink outfit. And I took that coach to Manchester, tried on the outfit at the university that they studied at. And I was like, you know what, babe, this will do. And then I got Vodka, my hairstylist, to stack a few afros. So the hair that I wore was over an helmet. So imagine wearing like a biker helmet, and then you stack the afro on it, and then you shave it into a rectangle. So that was basically the wig. And then I spray painted it pink with my boyfriend outside of the yard. And it was the quickest throw together thing ever.
I mean, how did you do? Where did you get the candy floss from?
The candy floss. So we were thinking. So when we sprayed the hair, I was like, the hair looks kind of like candy floss. Wouldn't it be cunt if like I had candy floss in it? And Vodka made the wig that it can open and all of that. So I was like, yes, it's either marshmallows or candy or anything like that I'm gonna put inside of it. So I had candy floss in my suitcase from week 1.
So let's talk about the runways. We had you and your candy floss look. We had Dakota in that gorgeous coat. I don't think she ever looked more beautiful on the runway.
To be honest, every week I look at Dakota and I'm like, you bitch, you look so good.
Jumbers' beautiful reveal outfit.
Yeah.
Oh, stunning. We had Danny in their gorgeous, structured kind of, everyone says it, Mugler inspired outfit, which I loved. The pink mustache.
Danny looks so beautiful.
So let's go on to LaFille's outfit, their tent, their pink tent. I thought it was so stupid and I loved it. It was so ridiculous. The little umbrella hat.
If I'm honest with you, it was my favorite look of the night. I think LaFille's runways are always so well thought of. LaFille thinks outside of the box.
Oh, my favorite look of the night, Pixies. I have already messaged her and I said, that's coming home with me.
You know, I think RuPaul really loved that look. I think RuPaul did really appreciate that look and the way how it was referenced. And you know what? That ponytail, that straight and slick ponytail behind that helmet. I remember Pixie being backstage, like straightening it, like taking her time straightening that hair. And I was like, I didn't see the full look at that point. And I was like, what is this? Like, but that look was honestly like that look and the look that Pixie did for the main event with the birth of Venus. I think those are my two favorite looks. Oh, and the neon look as well with that really cool jacket.
Oh yeah,
she wore.
I think people need to realize that Pixie is one of the fashion girls. She is a fashion girl.
She is, but I've been telling her this in the workroom because I feel like she doesn't think that she is.
And then our final fashion girl, it was Cheddar in her Silence Equals Death. And, you know, a moment, like one of those moments in Drag Race history where the judges say nothing because actually the outfit speaks for itself and it just needs to be taken in. And it was gorgeous and I loved it.
It was, you know, I was a bit emotional as well. And, you know, when you're there and you see the judges kind of silent and just so appreciative, especially Michelle. One of her critiques was she was like, thank you so much for recognizing those, you know, there's so many talented people that, you know, they're not with us because, you know, they died from the AIDS pandemic that would have honestly touched and impacted the world. And something like that, I think was so important to have. You know, when you think of a pink runway, only Cheddar would think of doing that. And that is what makes me even love them so much more.
So our safe girls were Dakota and Danny, which then left yourself, Jombers, LaFille, Cheddar, Pixie, and that's it. On the runway to get your critiques, Cheddar and Jombers were in the top, leaving you, Pixie, and LaFille in the bottoms. Do you think this was deserved?
Yeah, like based on the performance in the Snatch Game, I think we all knew like it was a clear top and a clear bottom that week for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, everyone's characterization, everyone's looks, you were either great on the runway and a little bit shit in Snatch Game, or, you know, just good all over. Everyone's runways this week were one of those things where you go, no one really fucked this up, and fair play to you. Even looking at everyone's outfits that has gone, like, you know, we all look good.
Oh my God. Copper Top's outfit for the pink runway. Oh my gosh. Like, that deserves to be seen on the runway. Oh, it looks so good.
So we ended up with our top of the week, our winner of this week's episode being Cheddar, the most deserved out of everyone. I think as well, a very close second to both Jombas and Dakota, which then meant that the bottom two were you and LaPhil. You had to lip sync to Stop, which, you know, not mad about. Also, little disclaimer, not mad about the fact that you got a Spice Girl as a judge either. But how did you feel about doing Stop in front of a Spice Girl?
I felt excited. Like, obviously I knew I was in the bottom, and because I knew at that point what the lip sync song was, I remember LaPhil and a few of the girls, they were doing the choreography to it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be doing that. I'm not gonna do my own thing. I'm sorry. Like, look, I love the Spice Girls, but I ain't gonna be doing a choreography.
It's the gay man's hand jive.
Yeah, and I was like, although I would do it, like if I'm in a club dancing, I feel like during a lip sync, I can't take that risk of doing choreography. So when we had to lip sync to that song, I just once again, this is my bread and butter. I love to lip sync. I just zoned out. I knew LaPhil, so no one knows this. I knew LaPhil was gonna make a mess, right? So in the hotel room the night before, LaPhil went downstairs, and I was like, what is she doing? And LaPhil was collecting mud and sticks and stones, and I was like, is she getting these things for her lip sync tomorrow? She didn't even know that, I realized. And I was like, oh. So I knew LaPhil was gonna pull the whole badunkadunk out of her tent situation. And I was like, it's one of those where I don't even care for the reveal. I had candy floss in my hair previously, and my boyfriend bought like a whole packet of sweets that I had in my suitcase. So I took the candy floss out and I stuffed the wig with other sweets. So then when I started lip syncing, I kind of pretended all of them spilled out, and the judges were a bit gagged because they were like, oh, it's not candy floss anymore? Like, you have other things up in there? What is going on?
That was a mess, but you know, it was very clean while you were lip syncing. Was Jomba's Pixie and Danny in the back doing the full routine in sync next to each other. It was like, the hardcore Spice Girl fan, it was like Gem got back together and they were standing at the back of the stage. Unfortunately, after all of that mess, LaPhil was asked to sashay away, leaving you to stay. I mean, I've never experienced it, but I imagine a very strange experience when you're standing there and the other person's asked to leave and you're so happy, but I guess you don't want to.
You're so sad for them.
Yeah. How does that, what goes through your head at that point?
There's so many emotions. You know, I always used to watch Drag Race when that moment happens and RuPaul says, Shantae, you stay. And the girl that walks back to her position is crying. And I'm like, why the hell are you crying for? You didn't go home. Shut up. Stop the crying. But when you're actually there and you start having all these emotions in your mind, I could potentially go home.
Yeah.
So like, until that point, you're just on the edge and you just feel like you're going to have a whole breakdown. And when you realize, oh my God, I'm safe. Like, I'm not going anywhere. You just become overwhelmed and you cry and you. But yeah, that's really hard. Just me, like, it's hard having to like see your sister leave.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know. I never had to do it. You know, we did have to say goodbye to LaPhil, which means that we are down to 6 girls. The competition is heating up. And all I have to ask for you now is, Peppa, what is your just slay moment of the Snatch Game?
My favorite moment of the Snatch Game was when RuPaul said, "And that is it for today's Snatch Game." And I was like, oh, thank God. I just want to run backstage and cry. That was my favorite moment.
What is your get fucked moment of this episode? What moment do you never want to see again? What would that be?
You know what? I don't mind seeing any of these moments again. I usually am like, I just don't. It's hard. First of all, it's hard for me to watch an episode knowing I'm in the bottom. But like looking back at it for what it was worth, I am so proud of myself. Like, I know I'm not a comedian. And going into this, although I was like really not in a good headspace in the beginning, and I have to really thank John Birth for sitting down with me and encouraging me and being like, girl, you got this. Like, he'll be fine. Like, and I can't thank them enough for like just making me, because when you're down, you can't really boost yourself up as much. And you know what? Every single challenge that I know that I probably wouldn't be good at, that wasn't an excuse for me. And I always put my full self into it. I always tried my best. I couldn't say at the end of the day I didn't try as hard as I could. So I have no regrets. I don't look at anything back and I'm like, nah, I don't want to see that anymore. I just embrace it now. So.
I love that. I mean, live a life without regrets. My just slay moment of this episode, I think, is gonna be Dakota as Pete Burns.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. It was my favourite of all of the snatches. And then my get fucked moment, I think I'm gonna say not being there for Mel B. Black Peppa, is there anything you want to plug before we wrap up, or may I just say?
Not yet, because there's a lot of things I have in the works. I usually don't give any spoilers, but I have a lot of exciting things coming up. Yeah.
But there's only one more thing left to say, and that's Black Peppa. Get fucked.
I will, babe, I will.